YouTube! What's going on, guys? Raptor Gaming here, bringing you an updated Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, but we are back on the grind with Blue Eyes. I tried multiple different decks, and this is just the one that I like the most. So we're going to stick to it. We're going to see how far we can take it. It's been doing pretty well lately, so I feel like we have something kind of going on here. This is not like a heavy hand trap build. I'm coming more away. I'm trying to pull away from hand traps myself, just because the number one problem I run into when I play heavy hand traps is that I brick on my bricks with the hand traps, and then you don't have anything else to really play, and you just kind of auto lose if the hand traps aren't enough. So, and I feel like a lot of decks these days can play through, 3 hand traps. Not necessarily like it's nothing, but if you just don't have any gas afterward or very little gas, it's very hard to like push through. So anyways, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get on into it. I'm going to try to be as kind of thorough as possible. We're going to start off specifically with the bricks, or what I feel is like the heaviest bricks of the deck. 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Obviously you got to play at least 2, maybe 3 if you want to play a Kaiba Man build, but I do like 2. 1 Jet Dragon comes up so much, and it's just pretty strong, being able to protect all your stuff. Really good. We are playing the 1 Ultimate Fusion. Obviously this is kind of an extender, but it's also kind of a brick, depending on how you want to look at it. I'm going to lump it in the bricky-ish category. But basically it's another target for wishes. I find more often than not that you run out of targets very quickly, and rather than play like Bingo Machine Go, I wanted to have something that could actually do something in long-term scheme of things, versus Bingo Machine Go is obviously like another starter if you're going to, try to get going, but after that it's pretty much not helpful. So 1 Mausoleum, obviously got to play the Mausoleum, and then the 2 traps, True Light and Majesty. So 7 bricks, I'll say, even though Ultimate Fusion is kind of an extender, so you could argue 6, but I'm going to call it 7. So then that kind of goes over the bricky parts of the deck. Now we're going to go into the starters. I believe it is 19 starters, arguably. What is kind of cool is all of them work in conjunction as extenders as well. 3 Maiden, don't know why you wouldn't. It's really good. Next, triple copies of Barrel. Arguably you could play 2 of this card, but I do like seeing Primite Engine. Also 3 copies of Lordly Load. There again, starter extender. If they ash it and you have the Barrel, you can just normal summon and set whatever spell that you're going to search. 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. And I've kind of got these somewhat in like the best order, I feel like, for starter / extender, but I mean it's really interchangeable because you can utilize both in any which way, so they're arguably all good up to like the last couple. 3 copies of Wishes. Yeah, enough said there. Searches anything and everything in the Blue Eyes engine, so I gotta play that. 2 copies of Kaiser Seahorse. A lot of people knock this card quite a bit, but I really like it. Being able to utilize it for plays like Chaos Angel and Synchro plays, and then Link summons, and then if you control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can special summon it, so it's not just a normal summon. Really strong, and it helps you chain block, and yeah, I could go on for days about this card, but either way, I think it's a very useful card. Maybe when the new support comes out, maybe you cut it to like 1 or 0, but I don't know. I enjoy Kaiser pretty well. So, and then arguably, this is obviously best as an extender, but I am playing the OG Maiden, and I really like Maiden with Eyes of Blue, the original, just because it's felt really strong. It's basically your Kaiba Man without the 3rd copy of Blue Eyes, and it'll actually serve as a starter being a spellcaster, just because your obvious like go-to play for this is obviously to normal summon, target it with Mausoleum. Mausoleum will dump the 1st Blue Eyes, Maiden will summon the 2nd Blue Eyes, or however you want to word it. But backup, obviously you could target it with Kaiser Seahorse to summon a Blue Eyes. You could target it with Sage, double summon. Multiple ways to do it, and I think it just kind of cuts down on the bricks and improves consistency. Obviously, Kaiba Man is better as far as like you don't need the targeting, but I feel like the targeting is a small price to pay considering you play so many cards that can target your maiden. So, and then lastly, this is probably arguably the worst starter, but it is still kind of a starter, kind of an extender. Primite Roar, being able to summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon for the cost of 2k, and then it becomes an interruption in the graveyard that banishes your opponent's normal summon, which sometimes is really relevant. Arguably, you could put this in like a pure extender category, or just kind of a bricky starter, I don't know. But either way, it kind of works. So, arguably, I did classify it as a starter, but it's definitely like the weakest starter if you're going to put it there. So, next we will go into the extenders, or what I would consider to be extenders. I believe it's going to be 5, so I do play the 1 Roar. Arguably could bump it up to 2, but I like it at 1. It works. And then we are playing 2 copies of Radiant Typhoon Vision, which is also why we play Ultimate Fusion, because you can search it with the Blue Eyes engine to get you a free draw 2 that doesn't have any cost. So it's like you can play this in the draw phase, play around Droll. If they ash it, fine. Now you can just play your wishes or whatever you want and not have to worry about Ash Blossom, so it kind of plays through that. And then, of course, your Primite engine will search you quick play spells to discard. So it's kind of just free. So yeah, those 2. And then Druisworm and Magnemite. You could change this too if you want, but I really like this as a additional seals, Heretic Seals summon. And then obviously this will bridge Blue Eyes and Primite together and get you whatever engine you want, especially if you're playing Kaiser Seahorse, which I am. And then obviously you can make a light dark Chaos Angel with Kaiser Seahorse and either of the Bestials, so pretty strong there. That is it for the pure extenders, sitting at 5, and we've gone over the bricks, so now we'll go over kind of the board breaker, 9-engine, more type stuff. The 1 Drill Beam, obviously it's kind of interruption. 2 Droplet, I really like Droplet, and there again is also a vision target to draw if you need to send it. Called by the Grave, kind of same thing, defensive card, send it for vision. Triple Tactics Talent, hand knowledge is amazing. You know, drawing 2 or looking or taking in an opponent's monster is also really good as well. I find myself using it for hand ripping the most, but you know, any and every situation could come up at some point. So that is why I play those. And then for the traps, I am playing 1 evenly matched. So far it comes up and it works really well. I would maybe consider switching that to like a quick play spell just to like help with Radiant Typhoon Vision a little bit more, and maybe switch out for like a different board breaker or something. But ultimately just one in the main sometimes catches people by surprise, and you don't really brick on it if you're only playing 1. Arguably could be changed, definitely could be changed. So, and then last, my favorite hand trap in the game, triple impermanence, infinite impermanence. I was playing 2 this weekend and I bumped it back up to 3. Shout outs to the player at Locals if you see this, and you OTK'd me. Imperm is really great for stopping FTKs. So, yeah, I really like Imperm, and arguably you could say Veiler too, but I don't know. I don't really like Veiler as much, just because Imperm can be activated on both turns, can reset it with Tyrant, and although it's not searchable, it just kind of comes up a lot when you need it. So next we'll move on to the extra deck. I am playing 2 copies of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Just 2 so far. 2 has been relevant and enough, and I don't feel like I need more. We're playing Link Spider to help go into SP Little Knight. This package was, side note, I was side decking for the I was playing Silhouette Rabbit and 2 Apophis traps this weekend. That worked, but it didn't really it didn't really come up and do as well as I thought it would. So shout out if you want to save yourself some time there. And I would actually be able to make like spheres up top and silhouette rabbit a lot of the time, but it was just kind of a weird thing where like it didn't really play well. So like a lot of my matchups this weekend were Mitsurugi, and then I also played against Doom Z, and yeah, just a lot of different like Mitsurugi variants too, and like it just wasn't very strong. But one spheres, I feel like one spheres is all you need. It just kind of works. And then 2 tyrant, mostly because, you know, our extra deck is getting looked at these days, so got to be prepared. And I'm playing 1 Neoblaze Ultimate and 1 Twin Burst. Twin Burst is really just because I like to have options, and it's free contact fuse, among other things. Ultimate fusion target. Backup for wishes to equip and fuse. This could arguably be this if you want it to. I just like to have more options, and this is still a boss monster killer. One of the best in my opinion. So, because the banishing battle effect, it can attack twice and it cannot be destroyed by battle. And the banishing effect, if it doesn't kill the monster, is not an activated effect. So yeah, usually it's just gonna happen. So it feels pretty good. Next, for the XZ monsters, I am playing Indigo Eyes, Silver Dragon, and Zeus. This worked out pretty well. It came up once. Zeus is probably overkill because I had kind of already probably had the game at that point when I made it. But this card, being able to turn off spells, traps, monsters, everything permanently, is really, really strong. I don't understand why more people don't play it, because you could just make it with like Jet and a Blue Eyes, detach the Jet, summon another Blue Eyes, and now you have 8k in attack right here, and then you can just make Zeus at the end if your opponent's still alive and you have everything turned off. So kind of a nice little package. If you wanted to cut this for like, you know, a Typhon or something, totally understandable, but so far I like this. Works out pretty well. And lastly, for the synchros, I am playing 1 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Arguably could bump it up to 2, but I don't find myself needing Spirit a lot. And the most like the biggest board I try to make anymore is like spheres with Spirit, but I kind of want to get away from that too, so we don't just get blown out by Super Poly. So arguably, I kind of don't want to go into making a lot of synchros and stuff, but I kind of just want to put this at 2 because your opponent's looking at the extra deck now and taking stuff out of it, so 2 of this would be nice. But we are also playing Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. This would have been nice to have this weekend. I just put this in after this weekend because summoning Jet and having this in conjunction with Jet would be really nice. Just something to help protect the Jet, keep it there, keep it as something to deal with so that they have to attack into it. I think would have helped clutch me a game or 2. So, and then obviously this will recur your Blue Eyes and do more stuff like that. So 1 Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. I don't think you need more than 1, but obviously if you're having a problem with your opponent ripping your cards out of your extra deck and you feel like you're like, man, I just need that card, bump it up. And then lastly, the Chaos Angel, Kaiser Seahorse and the Bestials make this, and it's light and dark, and it just does so much for you. It's won me a couple games. So arguably Chaos Angel is cuttable, but I really like it, so I play it. Next we will go into the side deck. I'll start off with my going first cards. I only side deck 3 cards going first. This mainly because either one of these cards equals this essentially, and all you have to do is summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon, so it turns Blue Eyes White Dragon into an Omni Negate and cannot be, you know, targeted by spells and monsters, so that's pretty solid. And then Solemn Judgment was Dragon's Mind, but I think I like the idea better of just having a no cost essentially, other than like half your life, for a Omni Negate. So and then obviously Jet can reset these if need be. So yeah, so that is my going first little package. I feel like this deck struggles the most going second, so I'm trying to focus my side deck on going second options mostly. So going second, I am playing 2 copies of Fallows, Arguably, you could play 3. I just like it at 2. I don't want to brick on hand traps, so I'm trying to move as far away as I can. And they might change. I've thought about playing like Phantasme or like other stuff. I know he's kind of a hand trap too, but he's a little different. 2 copies of Droll. They're just really, really good. I just kind of put this in my side deck too. After this weekend, like I said, I was side decking Silhouette Rabbit with the Apophis traps, and my problem wasn't really going first and setting up stuff, it was going second, so I kind of put Droll in for that. MVP this weekend was Swords of Concealing Light. Shout out to my boy Jake, the Doom Z player. It's the only time this came up, but I activated it, turned off all his stuff, and just won the game from there, and it was really, really strong. So, and the reason this is not Book of Eclipse is because I don't have a problem going first usually, and I didn't want the Ash Blossom to come into effect to stop Book of Eclipse. I wanted something that said activate, turn it off, and call it a day. So that is why I went with that. 1 Duster, just because back row, you know, is nice to get rid of a lot of the times. And double copies of Evenly Matched to round off going second, because it is just a really nice board breaker, and I'm kind of going towards the board breaker stuff these days if I can. So that is it for going first, going second. My last 3 side deck cards are all extensions of the Primite engine. This is obviously for like trying to turn off like Yummy and Sprite and all that stuff, and then this is just something I'm trying out because being able to negate all face-up monsters your opponent controls or banish all monsters, you know, all basically light monsters, sounds like a decent option. So we're trying this stuff out. This is more relevant if it comes up, but like I said, we'll give it a whirl. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. One of the things I will mention is I do want to try out a rotary for Cool Tune Rotary. I think that would be really cool. It's a level 9 tuner that basically allows you to look at your opponent's hand when it's synchro summoned, or when you use it with a synchro summon. So that could be really cool, and I think that would be a solid option. So I might look into testing that next. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Or if you have any you know, shout outs, mentions, theories, I'll give a shout out to everybody I play at locals with, and that helps me better the deck. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.